Eddie Hearn claims that there's a strong possibility that Billy Joe Saunders will get the Canelo Alvarez fight in 2020. Well, he would say that, wouldn't he? He's just signed Billy Joe. I'm sure he's promised him the earth, moon, and stars. But how realistic is it? Canelo's got a lot of options. Is Billy Joe somebody he looks at and thinks, yeah, I need that fight next? Because Billy Joe's got a WBO strap at 168 pounds. It's not like Canelo's on the brink of becoming undisputed or anything at 168. Canelo gave up his WBA regular belt, right? That he won from Rocky Fielding. So does he want to go and win a quote-unquote legitimate belt at 168 rather than a WBA regular belt against Billy Joe? I don't know. I mean, it is an in-house fight on DAZN, so it should be fairly easy to make. But how attractive will it be for Canelo? I would have thought that Canelo would rather have a trilogy fight, rubber match with Golovkin, rather than step in against Billy Joe Saunders. If it was a situation where Billy Joe still had a belt at 160 pounds and Canelo had the 3 other belts, and therefore it was an undisputed fight with Billy Joe, I think it would be a lot more tempting for Canelo. But as it is, I mean, I don't know. Canelo's got plenty of options. He could stay at 175. He could drop down to 168 and fight somebody else there. He could drop down to, well, there have been rumors about Canelo fighting Golovkin at 168. That's the rumor going around. I don't know how true that is. It's unsubstantiated at the moment, but there's a rumor that he could fight Triple G at super middleweight rather than middleweight. Maybe Triple G is starting to struggle to make 160 pounds. Maybe that was part of the issue that he had against Derevyanchenko, as well as age and potentially underestimating Derevyanchenko. And of course, we can't take away the fact that Derevyanchenko stylistically and skill-wise was difficult for Golovkin at the best of times. So, yeah, I suspect Canelo will probably go for the Golovkin fight rather than Billy Joe, but who knows? I know Oscar De La Hoya is quite fond of taking on Eddie Hearn fighters because he usually can't, well, he's always come out on top with regards to putting Canelo in against Eddie Hearn fighters. So maybe he's happy to do it again, right? He's already beaten an Eddie Hearn fighter in Danny Jacobs recently. So, and Rocky Fielding, another one. Maybe he wants to fight Billy Joe now. What do you guys think in the comment section below? And how many of you still think that Billy Joe can beat Canelo Alvarez? Because there was a time when I thought that Billy Joe had a decent chance against Canelo. And I'm not saying he's got no chance now, but I would make Canelo a strong favorite over Billy Joe at this point. Billy Joe's last performance on the KSI Logan Paul undercard was poor. And although I expect him to perform a lot better if he fought Canelo, he'd be a lot more switched on and train better, I'm sure. But Canelo is such a skilled fighter. He's got such an underrated defense. His punch quality is sublime. When I mean punch quality, I mean when Canelo hits you, he usually lands clean. He's not a guy that throws a lot of shots that are half blocked or scuffing punches. No, Canelo's a guy who's very accurate and who tends to land very clean on the target. So his punch quality is excellent, throws great combinations, very, very underrated defense, the way he moves his head, slip shots, rolls with punches. And even a slick guy like Billy Joe, can he really show Canelo anything he hasn't seen before and dealt with before? Canelo's fought southpaws. What, you forgot about the Austin Trout fight? You forgot about the Erislandy Lara fight? And I know some people are going to say, well, the Erislandy Lara decision was controversial. Personally, I think that Canelo won that fight legitimately. But there's no doubt Lara did give him issues. But I'm telling you now, Erislandy Lara at the time was a lot lighter on his feet than Billy Joe Saunders. He could move around the ring a lot faster than Billy Joe. You know, so I think, and Canelo has improved massively since that Lara fight. So I don't think Canelo would have as many problems with Billy Joe now as he might have done a few years ago. I think now he'd win pretty decisively against Billy Joe. He might not stop him. I think Billy Joe is tough enough and savvy enough to be able to last the distance, but I also think there's a possibility there that it could get stopped. If I had to bet on it, I'd probably say Billy Joe probably lost the distance. But you never know, man. Canelo, big, strong guy, hits hard, great counter puncher, and he's versatile now. There was a time when Canelo wasn't a very good front foot fighter and that he relied on opponents coming at him. But now he's really developed his front foot game and he's turned into actually a very good pressure fighter now. So, yeah, we'll see if Billy Joe gets the opportunity. And look, just because I think Canelo is going to beat Billy Joe and whatever, that doesn't mean Billy Joe shouldn't pursue the fight. Of course he should pursue the fight. And it's still a legitimate fight for Canelo if he decides to take it. But I just wanted to hear feedback from people in terms of what chance they think Billy Joe has of winning. Because ultimately, that will also play into how likely the fight is to happen, right? If people are screaming from the rooftops for Billy Joe versus Canelo, it will be because they think Billy Joe can really beat Canelo. A substantial number of people will believe that, but very few believe Billy Joe can beat Canelo, right? At this point, I would have to imagine. Other than some hardcore Billy Joe fans, very few. So where's the demand for the fight? People are going to talk about the Rocky Fielding fight. Yeah, but the Rocky Fielding fight wasn't about Rocky Fielding. It was about the belt. It was about becoming champion in a different weight class, 168, and it was an easy opportunity to do so. He's already done that. He's ticked that box. Does he need to fight Billy Joe at 168? We'll see, man. You never know what's going on behind the scenes with regards to negotiations and whatnot. And maybe if Canelo doesn't have anything more attractive on his schedule at the moment, on his horizon, then he might look at the Billy Joe fight and look at Billy Joe's last performance and think, that's an easy belt. Let me take it. It's possible, but I suspect he'll go in a different direction. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It's Hearn, I'm out.